Okay, so let's get into Act One of Hamlet. I'm going to just kind of go over some things real quick. Just kind of give some brief explanation of what's going on. So in Act One, we start out. There's two guards at Elsinore Castle, and they see the ghost of the king. And I don't know about you guys, but if you're just out there in the middle of the night, late night, dark, and you see the ghost of any ghost, it's going to be scary. But obviously, of the king that they just lost, it's pretty crazy. So the guards decide to tell Horatio. Horatio is Hamlet's confidant friend, and so they tell Horatio what's going on. So that's pretty much Act One, Scene One. Now in Act Two, Scene Two, you see Gertrude and King Claudius together, and Gertrude is obviously Hamlet's mom, and Claudius is Hamlet's uncle, and they've recently been married, and they're kind of struggling with the fact that Hamlet wants to leave. He's stricken with grief. He doesn't want to be around there. He doesn't want to stay there, and they are wanting him to stay. Now, obviously, Claudius has a different reason for him to stay than Gertrude. Gertrude, being his mom, wants him to stay, obviously, because it's his mom and she wants him there and they're grieving. Claudius wants him to stay because he wants to be able to control Hamlet, because Hamlet is the next heir to the throne. And Claudius kind of wants to see what's going on with him and where his mind's at. And during this scene also, Horatio lets Hamlet know about the ghost. And obviously Hamlet's confused, perplexed, and wants to see the ghost. Any chance of maybe seeing his father. That's what's going on in Scene 2. Now, we get to Scene 3, and we run into Laertes. And Laertes is the son of Polonius, and Polonius is the advisor to the king. Now, he was the advisor to Hamlet's father. Now he's the advisor to Claudius. Laertes is talking to his sister, and his sister's name is Ophelia. And Ophelia is the love interest of Hamlet, and she loves him, he loves her, but he's dealing with grief, and there's just a lot going on. And Laertes is basically telling Ophelia, don't fall in love with Hamlet. He's not the right person for you. Obviously, if you tell somebody not to do something, what are they going to do? They're going to kind of go even more, especially when they're a family member and their brother. And I don't care what time in the world it is and what year it is, that never changes. And so Polonius is in agreement with Laertes. Laertes is fixing to leave. That's why he's talking to Ophelia. He's fixing to leave and go on to school. Polonius kind of tells him all of the different things. And one of the famous lines in Hamlet that's spoken at this time is, to thine own self be true. And so it means just be yourself. Be yourself and be who you are. And don't be anything that anybody else wants you to be. Be who you are. And that's when you'll know that people really care about you. That's when you know if people really like you. That's when you know if people really are friends with you, with the real you. So we move on to Scene 4. Hamlet waits with Horatio and Marcellus for the ghost to appear. And, this is probably a tough situation because Hamlet wants to see the ghost, but he's scared. He's a mixture of emotions. He's grieving. He's super, super grieving. And so Hamlet, when he sees the ghost appear, he runs after it. And they all follow it. They all follow Hamlet. They follow him. Really, that's all it is in Scene 4, is just kind of the waiting game to see what's going on with the ghost. Then we move on to Scene 5. The ghost of Hamlet's father talks to Hamlet, and he shares with Hamlet some crucial information. And at this point, he tells Hamlet that Claudius is the one that murdered him, and he poured poison in his ear while he was asleep in the garden. He wants Hamlet to avenge him. He wants him to kill Claudius. But he wants him to spare Gertrude. And that's where I kind of want you guys to kind of think about is, why does Hamlet father want him to spare Gertrude. I think that we talked about this before, but Gertrude is his mom, and Hamlet's father obviously still loves her, but she's trying to do what she can to protect the country and keep the country safe and keep Hamlet safe. And she knows one way to keep Hamlet safe is to be married to the king. And so I think it's a mother just doing what she needs to. Now, she does get her emotions mixed up in it, and there's a whole other thing that we're going to discuss later on that. But that's something very important to take into account, that she's trying to take care of her son. Hamlet swears that he's going to do this. He's going to avenge his father no matter what. And he kind of concocts this plan that everybody already thinks he's kind of extreme anyway with his emotions and grieving. And so he is going to pretend that he's insane. He's going to pretend that he's crazy. And if people think that he's crazy and insane, they may tell him the truth, and he will kind of confirm things for himself. So that's where we kind of leave off in scene 5. So that's pretty much Act 1 in a whole. Make sure you get your Act 1 synopsis done. Get it turned in ASAP. I need to get that stuff in so we can get it graded. I want to make sure that we get everything done for that. Again, guys, don't check out. Don't not do your work. Let's grind through this and let's get this done. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be back on several times. I'm going to be on live throughout the weeks as well. So just don't think you're going to be talking to a video. But this is kind of how some of the instruction is going to be right now, is through video format. But I will be on to answer questions. So I appreciate you guys. If you got any questions, please email me, and make sure you get that stuff done. Thanks.